Entrepreneurship is the ultimate transformation, transforming nothing to something and something to everything. That small idea, a 2-minute conversation, that passerby moment, all have one thing in common. They're all simple starts to something much bigger. A Big Bang Theory of innovation. Listen to the stories of innovators, dream chasers, and platemakers, and how they took their nothings and transformed them into unimaginable and limitless somethings.
My father said, "What are you doing, boy? You drinking that soda?" So Osman said, "No, I wasn't drinking the soda. I had put some fruit in the cola." Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, man?
I'm well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
How are you?
I'm great. What's up, fam? It's Cash. I'm here doing a special Father's Day something series interview with none other than my own pops. For those who don't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you in the grand scheme of Shabazz Fruit Cola?
I am the second son of Frank Shabazz, who is the proprietor, the CEO, the originator of Shabazz Fruit Cola. And I am the son who would wait for his father to come home from work every day. And while my brothers were out playing, I would ask my father to tell me about his day. And he would talk about the ins and outs of his business. I've always been business-minded and always been the one who couldn't wait until he could ride on the truck with my father. As soon as he would let me, I rode on the truck and I would ask him questions. Now, this was before Shabazz Fruit Cola. He had his own soda route for years, actually for decades. And in 1970, he came out with the idea. He said, "I'm going to make my own soda."
What is Shabazz Fruit Cola, now that we know who Aaron Sadi Shabazz is?
Shabazz Fruit Cola is the brainchild of my dad, Frank Shabazz. He distributed local bottling company brands, and he also distributed ginger beer, A&J Jamaican ginger beer. Mr. Alfred James, who was Jamaican, he was my father's mentor in the manufacturing aspect of the business. My father had wanted to distribute a black soda, a soda that was a brand that was owned by black people, because my father was in the Nation of Islam and he always had the mindset of doing for self. And Mr. James said, "You can make your own soda too." My father said, "Yeah, I had thought about it, but I don't know where I would start, Mr. James." And Mr. James said, "I'll show you how to start." The other flavor Mr. James distributed was cola champagne. So there was ginger beer my father distributed for Mr. James, but he's like, "I don't want to mess with that cola champagne." So Mr. James said, "You never know, just give it a try. We'll take some home and see how your kids like it." And as kids are, they like a whole lot of candy, a whole lot of sweets. So my father was, really strict on, you can only have, one soda a day. And of course we would, go behind his back and sneak and stuff. So one day my father said, "What are you doing, boy? You drinking that soda?" So Osman said, "No, I wasn't drinking the soda. I had put some fruit in the cola." It was cola champagne. My brother Osman had taken some apple juice or something and poured it in his glass, and he said, "It's not soda anymore." My father started laughing. He said, "I'll be God." My father would say something wild like, "I'll be God darn." And he went and told Mr. James about the incident, and Mr. James said, "Well, there you have it, son." And my father said, "Exactly. I'm gonna make a fruit cola."
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
And it's touching because he changed Frank's life.
I told you about Party King beverages. Those gentlemen also had a hand in my father's journey, and they also had a hand as mentors to my father. So Marty, the Jewish gentleman at Party King, said, "Frank, what are you waiting for?" And my father said, "Well, I'm just waiting because I don't have the money for the labels right now." And Marty said, "Frank, you're never gonna have everything perfect." He said, "Frank, this is what you do. Write a check." My father said, "But it's gonna bounce." He said, "I know." "Frank, write a check, get the labels made, put the soda out there, and by the time that the check bounces, you'll have the money to make good on it." And my father did exactly what Marty said.
How did he know he was gonna sell?
He was very, very connected in the community. In fact, a lot of the businesses that you see in Newark, New Jersey today, Muslim businesses and businesses by non-Muslim black people, a lot of those businesses, and when I say a lot, I mean way more than a handful, were inspired by your grandfather, Frank Shabazz. Newark was a big, big center for activism and for growth for the Nation of Islam and for the Muslim community at large. He was one of those people in the nation who had a legitimate business and a legitimate job when nobody else did. So when I say that he was at the forefront of the birthing of many of the other businesses, it was because a lot of young black people, especially people from the streets, especially people who, you know, were cool and who were hustlers and stuff, they thought, you know, if you were cool and you were a hustler, you had to be doing something illegal. And my father was one of the first people who showed that you could be cool and you could be a hustler and not break any laws.
Man, I'm really grateful to be able to do this interview with you, because I'm not only learning more about the business that I one day want to, you know, play a hand in and running, but I'm also like learning about my family and like my own history. A lot of these dots is like connecting. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. What is the brand and what words come to mind when you...
Juggernaut was the first word that came to mind. Original comes to mind. Unique comes to mind.
Unique, like, for sure. I think it says a lot about who we are, not only as black men, but as the Shabazz clan. Like, we stand out just by being. So what's next for Shabazz?
It's kind of like when the angel Gabriel asked Prophet Muhammad, he said, so when is the last day? You know, everybody talks about the end of the world. When is the last day? The angel asked Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad said that the one who is asking knows no more than the one who he has asked. So when you ask me what's next, I'm saying that the one who is asking knows better than the one who is being asked. What do I mean by that? I have a vision for Shabazz Fruit Cola, but where it actually goes is going to depend not upon what I do, but it's going to depend upon what you guys do. And what you guys have to do is take it into the future and take it to the next level.
But we have to 21st century eyes it.
And what we need to do is figure out how best to do it going forward. And once we do that and put ourselves in the position of being the next juggernauts, we will have something.
Here's to, you know, breaking generational molds. Here's to futuristic marketing.
Yes, sir.
And here's to, you know, more black excellence, man.
Excellent.
And here's to Shabazz Fruit Cola.
No doubt.
It was a pleasure talking with you, man. Always is. And we probably will talk much more today.
Oh, you better believe we will.
Off camera, talking about Shabazz Fruit Cola plans. Y'all don't get any of that, but y'all did get this interview. Thank you so much for tuning in with us.
Thank
Something
you, Cash,
serious.
for having me, man.
Be easy, y'all. Peace.
Love you, kid.
Yeah, love you too, man.